Good morning, everyone. All right, come with me. Early morning, along with me, New England treat. We're at Katie's. Do you remember my little puppy dog, Katie, who passed away recently? This was her favorite walking spot. So I'm going to talk to you like I talked to Miss Katie and shared all my wonderful, loving experiences with you. This is going to be about real estate. This is the Abundance Oracle. This is going to be about real estate. So if you're not interested in real estate at all, switch to another channel because this is all about real estate. So I've made some mistakes in real estate. And I will tell you absolutely, if you're focused and if you're really committed to it, you can do extremely well in real estate as your part-time hobby. I was in the investment industry for one of the two top firms in the United States. And I had a team of people. It got to the point where I was bringing in the accounts, and I had a small team of men that helped me manage the accounts. And I taught them how to, Dunkin' Donuts. Here you go. Cheers to you, everyone. And so it ended up over time as I was getting older, I taught them about alternative investments, the other AI, as we call it. And I dealt with a lot of, I had a billionaire account, but mostly ultra high net worth individuals. Oh my gosh, as I go here, this is what I would talk to Katie about. I'm going to show you the trees. Oh, my voice changed, I'm sorry. So here we go. Look at this beautiful, can you see? Is it behind me? Can you see the white? I think it's supposed to be pale pink dogwood, just very pretty in the background. And I know that people will start showing up here. There's a nice little path that you can take your dog on. Okay, so I have an investment background, and I do have to say I was just very lucky to early on be good at what I did. Sometimes it might take you 2 or 3 jobs before you figure out really what you're good at. And it's not always what you might be your number one pick. So for me, I chose I'd rather make a lot of money than try and coach cheerleading all my life. So I went into the investment banking industry and just happened to be a brainiac that I didn't realize. And since I cheer-led and was around people a lot, I had an innate skill that most brainiacs don't have, and that's people skills on top of number skills. So on my weekends, I made money during the week, Monday through Friday, and on the weekends, I took some money and used it as a down payment on real estate because I didn't want to invest in the same place that I was earning my money. So diversify my life, basically. Because if the stock market didn't work and the real estate market didn't work, I'd be up a creek. So this way, 2 separate things that didn't necessarily have the same risk factor. The same difficulty with markets at the same time. Usually they're divergent markets. So I started to accumulate little houses. I got up to about 50 houses, and then it was just too much work. I ended up having to have, a realtor, and I had to have a CPA and a bookkeeper and a handyman on call. And so it was just too much for me. I couldn't do 2 full-time jobs at once. For a while it was good, I could do it, but then it just starts getting so big. You have to make choices. So anyway, I sold all that, which was number one mistake, and I put it into commercial real estate, which was fabulous purchases at the time. I was paying, I believe it was, depending upon which commercial property you're talking about, I paid anywhere between 12 and 14%, maybe 15 for my commercial real estate loans. Now, if you can make your numbers work with high interest rates, the likelihood is that they're not going to be sticking with you that long. And every 5 years, a commercial loan, you basically have to sort of reapply, I'm going to say. And they want to make sure that you haven't lost your tenant and you're not a credit risk, et cetera, et cetera. So I happen to be lucky again, luck or skill, I don't know. And when I had to refinance things, interest rates were on the way down. So things kept getting better and better and better every time I refinanced. Now, commercial loans, you take out, let me just take a sip here. A little hot. And they're 20-year loans. So 4 times you refinance, basically. I'm going to call them refinance. It's just the bank re-upping and their commitment, and you haven't done anything like missed loan payments or things like that. So of course, you all have integrity. You would never do that. Even if you were forced on occasion to live in the basement of your house because you had to get you downsize to make it work. After my divorce. So my ex-husband's not well, so I didn't get child support. The kids were little and had to work hard. So now, yada, yada, yada. It's just a struggle for single women like that. Not having a job and then not having any money coming in. So it was very important for me to make money for the kids. So the purchases I made since, I'm going to say this is very lucky again, since I was broke during certain times in my life, I knew how to live frugally and give up the ego that a lot of people tend to have in looking good. And when I could afford it, I did have things. But it was more important for me to invest my money, to earn money, than it was to put it in a depreciating asset like clothes, cars. And in the beginning, it was very mentally challenging, because I would go into an office where everyone had, $1,500 suits on. And, I'm the only girl there. And it was very easy to confuse me, unless you knew who I was, with one of the assistants. So anyway, you have to be mentally tough sometimes. And I will tell you, the 2 business partners, the looking good, all that stuff that I had in the beginning, they both went bankrupt. So, and those were high end, high end. We were called stockbrokers back then. We traded stocks. And I was the one who thrived. I mean, beyond expectations. So it's the same thing with the real estate now. What was my misfortune at one point in time was actually a blessing in disguise. I knew how to do things inexpensively, and that if I took time to just figure things out and think about it, I could figure out a way to make it work and not cost tons of money. So I guess that's a tip for the day. I know this is long, I get gabbing, but if you have a choice, try and go the inexpensive way, and sometimes that means just being more creative. It doesn't necessarily mean cheaper. So I'll discuss some of my just happen to be lucky moves along the way, but somehow I've received more luck than others, and I can't help but think, how did I get this knowledge? Well, a lot of it just was from some of the bad luck. Instead of moaning and groaning about the bad luck I had, I learned. I turned that bad luck into knowledge, common sense, and trying to figure things out. In the old days, we had to read books. Oh my gosh, that takes so much time. So you get up an hour earlier. You go to bed an hour later. Now you can listen to YouTube while you're doing your jog in the morning. Now I'm walking instead of jogging. I need to ramp that up too. That's a whole nother conversation. It's like having, now I'm 65. It's like learning to spin the plates on a stick. Have you ever seen a circus where they can have like 5 plates spinning at the same time, and they have to go back and start the first plate again as soon as they get through with spinning the last plate? So it's a constant movement. And it's the same thing building wealth. Don't give up. Educate yourself. And there's a lot of different ways. Even be creative on the education. If you're younger right now, you have so much luck. You have so many people retiring who've already become wealthy, who you just need to meet and talk to and find out what their mistakes were and what their accomplishments were and what they attributed to. Learn from these people. You'd be so surprised at how many older people would love to mentor a younger person who is committed, hardworking, honest, and a good person. So think about that. I love you tons. I'm so sorry for this long conversation. I'll do some more different videos so you can just sort of whip through them when you have a chance. Okay, love you tons. Bye.